and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. Since I've taken the opportunity to talk about each of the candidates personally, I think perhaps I have neglected to talk about Hilary Clinton. Why she is a mess, and why she should be avoided as a presidential candidate. Well, of course, one need only look so far back as the presidency of her husband to see the way she is when it comes to higher office. She was involved, of course, in the healthcare fiasco. Whenever she was involved in the task force, highly secretive, involved HMOs and pharmaceutical companies, which I predict will only stand to gain in any sort of healthcare reform that would come from Hilary Clinton. The fact that this information does not come out and has not come out and has not been put under scrutiny makes it exactly the same as Dick Cheney's secretive energy task force, which still remains cloaked in secrecy today. So Hilary Clinton, while she was First Lady, was heavily involved in her husband's presidency and heavily involved in various scandals that came and went during the course of his time in office, not to mention Filegate, Travelgate, Vince Foster, and then even further back in time, while Clinton was governor of Arkansas, into the Mena business, the drug trafficking out of Mena through the CIA and other nefarious connections that took place in Arkansas. And you can even go further back to see some of the radical roots of her own personal philosophy back when she was in college. I think what you get with Hillary as the president is pretty much a female George Bush, in the sense that you have someone who is going to be very keen on preserving corporate integrity and preserving corporate wealth and doing what she can to make a show, because Bush has been all about trying to make a show. Of course, all of his shows have utterly failed, and that's probably what we would have with Hillary as president. A total and utter failure. Nothing but shows put on to give the impression of something that is anything other than what it is. I think you're likely to see some sort of universal health care under her administration, but it will not attack the problem at its base, and that is the ridiculous and exorbitant cost of health care in this country. I think she will go towards trying to get everybody covered under some sort of scheme, but that scheme will not involve controlling costs, reducing costs, and bringing HMOs and other healthcare provider organizations into line and under control. She will be a boon to them, I guarantee. And as far as other corporate interests go, I see her towing the line in that regard as well. Very mainstream in this regard. She has taken on a more populist stance after John Edwards left the race, but in reality, she's a rich person. She's rich, and because she's rich, she's going to be looking after the interests of the rich, like she always does. Now, of course, she'll be exempt from a lot of the things that she passes while she's in office. So she may make a token effort at going after those super rich with higher taxes, but in the end, is it going to have any benefits for those of us in the middle class? The answer to that is no. Hilary Clinton is not a good choice for president, not a good one at all. I think there's too much baggage from her past that's pulling her down. Even if she were a real person and really wanted to effect some kind of change, when and if she got into office, I don't think she'd be able to do it because of the tremendous baggage that she carries with her, which stretches all the way back to her time in college. So, a big thumbs down for Hilary Clinton as well. What does she bring to the economy? Nothing that's going to change anything that's going on right now. I predict that the new president will probably keep Bernanke as the chairman of the Federal Reserve, even though he is systematically destroying this country, and I think Hilary Clinton will be right on the same boat in that regard. Let's remember that Alan Greenspan survived for many, many years through many different administrations, and it was on his stewardship that all of this decline started to happen. And I think Bernanke is just towing the same line today, and I think that Hilary Clinton would end up keeping him as the chairman of the Federal Reserve, which would only mean a continuation of the failed economic policies of the last, who can count how many years. So I don't see any rescue for the economy coming from the Hillary Clinton presidency any more than I see real change coming to healthcare as a result of the Hillary Clinton presidency. Nor do I see any help for the middle class. For all of those reasons, Hillary Clinton is not the good choice for president, period. Thank you.